Hey everyone, just stopping in to say hi. I just wanted to tell you my story. I'll wait for a few people to hop on. Um, it's good to see everyone. My name is Lori. I live in Southern California, and all I can remember in all my life that I have been very tired. Even from a very young age, I would ask my mom if I could leave my birthday parties to go take a nap. Even after I had my second child, I have 3 adult children, but after my second child in 1985, I started having balance problems, and nobody could figure out what it was. At that time, MRIs, and this was 1980, so MRIs weren't created then, so they were still in an experimental stage. So they thought a lot of it was psychological and overwhelmed with having 2 small kids at home. But I continued to have problems with my balance and my walking and fatigue, and I would sleep all the time. That was all I ever wanted. And I still, to this day, want to sleep. So, unfortunately, in 1999, when I was 39 years old, I had stroke-like symptoms, and I was diagnosed with lupus and antiphospholipid syndrome. And that was the beginning. Now, antiphospholipid syndrome is an autoimmune blood clotting disorder, which means my blood clots on an easy basis, causing me to have chronic migraines that will last months and months. And I have stroke-like symptoms to the point where I cannot walk. As you've seen my recent posts, I've recently had an episode like that over a 4th of July weekend. I'm getting better. I'm still getting physical therapy at home. I'm still homebound. But I have to take blood thinners and immunosuppressants and blood pressure medicine and a whole bunch of other medications just to keep the migraine at bay. Now, as you know, I do sell health and wellness products, but those help as well, so I don't have to take opioids or anything else for pain. And I still try to exercise. I am having problems with my speech, sorry, but we're going from there. So back in 2002, I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's thyroiditis, which is an autoimmune thyroid disease, which is causing your thyroid to be underactive, and you got to manage it really quick with thyroid medication. So it's constant monitoring, which also causes a lot of fatigue and sleep and stuff like that, which I have an appointment coming up next week with the endocrinologist. So hopefully we can get this under control. In 2004, I actually had a stroke in my brainstem where I could not move from here down. I had to go to an acute rehab facility to learn how to actually talk, eat, feed myself, walk, and the whole 9 yards. I was there for 2 months. I was a single mom. I had 3 small kids at that time. So it was very difficult because I was not working. And I had no support at all going from there. So trying to raise, my parents tried to help me as much as they could, and my sisters, but not a lot of actual support. And it was hard because I couldn't drive either. So trying to take kids to baseball and football and stuff like that until I was cleared by the DMV to drive again. So that's part of my story. So then, as we went on, I kept having these episodes from the antiphospholipid syndrome to, actually when I was going back a little bit, when I was back in the acute rehab, they also found out I had Sjogren's disease. Now, Sjogren's is also an autoimmune disorder that affects your glands, like you have dry eyes, dry mouth, dry lungs a lot of times. I've had blood clots in my lungs. I constantly am throwing blood clots from the antiphospholipid and from the Sjogren's. So it's not a pretty sight, to be honest. And I was in it, by this time I was in my early 40s and still raising teenagers and trying to do everything I could and work full time. So at that time I had applied for Social Security disability, but I could not get approved because I was too young and they felt that I could still work. So I continued on. I worked a 9-to-5 job as a nurse case manager on the insurance side of things. So I help people with chronic conditions like mine. So I totally related and was able to help them. So that's kind of my story. In 2019, I continued to have these events, like stroke-like events. They would call them strokes, but they were from the antiphospholipid. They're not sure if it was actually from the clots or if it was a migraine. They're still not sure. Technology still hasn't caught up with it. Autoimmune is still a mystery to a lot of people. If you don't know what autoimmune disease, it means your antibodies attack your healthy tissues instead of infection. So basically, if you have an infection, your antibodies ramp up and they attack the infection, and then the infection goes away with the antibodies. But with autoimmune disease, your antibodies are attacking parts of your body. And in my case, it's my brain and my thyroid and my glands and my blood. So I do take blood thinners. I have to be that on a regular basis. The good thing is taking CBD. With blood thinners, you cannot take anything like green vegetables or anything like that because it'll clot it. So I have talking to my pharmacist who manages my blood very closely, and they agree that I can take the CBD. So that helps me a lot. So it also helps with pain, so I don't have to take opioids a lot. So going forward, back in 2019, I was put on prednisone because I was starting to get worse. I was 59 at this time. I was in the process of applying for the Social Security disability because I just could no longer work. And because I was on prednisone for many months, it put me in adrenal failure, which means my pituitary and my adrenal glands stopped. So I could not function. Even if I walked, I would pass out. If I stood up, I'd pass out. They had to put me on hydrocortisone. I was on that for 2 years and managed to get that kind of under control. But during that time, 2 years ago, I started having seizures. So I'm now well controlled. Even though with this last hospitalization, I was having seizures back to back, we've increased some of my seizure medication, but my neurologist agrees I can take CBD and cannabis products because that does help the electricity in your brain. So, and as being a nurse, I always have to make sure of everything and make sure everything's correct in my management of my care. So, but I just wanted to start out. I know I was saying in the beginning I have chronic fatigue, so I've been taking these Slay All Day gummies. It's like taking a cup of coffee in the morning. I do drink coffee, but I can only have 1 cup. And I add this to it, and I can be a little more functional. I also take these ones. These are called In the Mood. These are mostly for libido, but I notice for me, it clears up my brain. It clears up my brain fog, and it gives me a lot more energy. Since I don't have a partner, libido is not an issue right now, but more issue or energy and functioning is more of an issue for me. So this helps me between the two of these. Because I was on the prednisone and the steroids for a long time, I gained about 40 pounds. So I started taking the Wildcat, or a triple threat program, but the Wildcat protein drink. This is a meal replacement. It's chocolate brownie batter. I've lost 20 pounds so far. I'm still working on it because my thyroid's kind of out of whack. It's kind of slowed down for a moment, but like I said, I see the endocrinologist next week. So, and that helps. And then I also put this in my water. It's the Your Highness Dreamsicle. I put it in my water, and it's a detox. So it helps me flush out the toxins in my body and stuff like that. We have another one. I don't have the bottle here. It's called GTFO. Also is a metal detox. So, you like have metal in your mouth, metal, like anything that's wrapped in metal, you still get that in your system when you eat it. So, the GTFO helps that. It'll be it's posted on my timeline or in my albums from there. Also, going back to the weight loss, I've been taking the Slim Thick gummies with this as an appetite suppressant. So I'm down really to eating a very minimal, probably less than 1,000 calories a day, because this is my calorie replacement. And this has been helping me a lot. Now I'm not sleeping as much and I'm losing the weight. So, and also for pain or discomfort, I get a lot of discomfort in my neck. I was recently diagnosed with fibromyalgia as well. So I get a lot of pain in my muscles, in my neck, in my back. So, and I use a heating pad and a TENS unit, and then I put this on. And this is a really cool thing. You don't have to stick your fingers in a thing. You just pump it and you just rub it on. And it instantly works. Especially like when I have a headache, I can put it right through here or on the back of my neck. And from there. So also, here's the CBD. There's all different types of CBD. We have different strengths. I just take a dropper full in the morning and a dropper full at night. This one's kind of empty. I ordered the new one. It should be coming soon. It's called Birthday Cake. It's a higher milligram and it tastes like birthday cake. So I'm excited to try that. We also have greens that are probiotics and stuff that also help with gut health, which is really good for you. I ordered the watermelon one. I'm not a big fan of watermelon, but I am a big fan of probiotics and sweet. So from what I understand, it's very sweet. So I can add it to this as well. I also add yogurt to my shakes, so that also helps with my probiotics, especially when you're on a lot of medication. You know, it can screw up your gut, basically. So my importance is keeping my gut health in check. They also say that can cause autoimmune disease. That's still under study, so I eat as healthy as I can. I eat gluten-free, anything. I don't have celiac, but I do have issues with my gut. So, and that can probably go in part in hand with the autoimmune disease. So I do have a lot of other products on hand available on my site. Recently, my roommate's dog tore both ACLs, and he's doing really well. He's walking now, but we started him on these. These are CBD dog chews for hip and joint health for dogs. It is for dogs only. It's very soft and chewy. It's got CBD in it. It helps with pain control. So he's pretty much off of Tramadol. He was on Tramadol for his pain, and now since he kind of started taking this, he's a little more energetic, can put weight on both of his legs, and just healing nicely. And we actually have oil for dogs as well, so if they're nervous with fireworks or sometimes some areas have gunfire, or just any little noise or somebody knocking at the door or ringing the doorbell, the oil helps relieve that anxiety. Same with the human oil. I get a lot of anxiety. I've always had a lot of anxiety, and this helps me keep that under control. So, and so I don't have to take antidepressants as much anymore. This has overall helped my well-being, my quality of life. My son is getting married next year, so I'm very excited about that. And then my grandson is having his bar mitzvah, so I'm very excited to attend that. So I've been working really hard in getting my gait back and walking, and so I can attend things. Right now everything's coming to my house, home health, nursing, doctors are on video until I can get out of the house and go from there. So if you're interested in any of the products, just comment below or send me a PM or a private message. I'll be glad to help you. I just wanted to share my story and how long I've had autoimmune disease. I know many of you on my friends list, which I have befriended recently, also have different types of autoimmune disease as well. I know a lot of you have MS. My symptoms actually mimic MS. I do have lesions on my brain, but they're not MS lesions, so they're not sure what they are. So then they think that causes some of my neurological issues. So as being a nurse for 40 years, I have a lot of insight and research that I have done. So feel free to reach out to me just on a medical level. I can advise you what to do with your doctors and go from there. Many of my friends on here have already been in touch with me and working with me, and they can vouch for me on my knowledge and the products and whatever questions you have. Like I said, I've been doing this for a while. So now I've been retired for 2 years and recovering from my recent stroke. So, but all I can say is my products have been life-changing, and everybody that is in my company are awesome and supportive and a lot of fun, and I make some extra money every week on the side to help pay for food and stuff since I'm on a limited income now. So I hope you guys are having a good Wednesday. Again, if you have any questions, just please send me a message. Sorry, my speech is still, it's recovering, but it's better. So have a good evening. Bye.